Hi, my name is Troy Saliba. I'm an animation supervisor at Sony Imageworks. I started in the industry about 24 years now ago, and I've always loved art and making things. I was always drawing or making model spaceships. I was very much into visual effects and animation as a child. And I knew I wanted to do something creative when I grew up, especially to do with drawing if I could. And originally I'd intended to go into graphic arts because that's sort of the only career I knew. I grew up in a small town in Canada, so I didn't feel like I had access to the film industry or animation. I thought that was all a pipe dream. So I was all set to go to college to study graphic arts, and I found out about a local art course that's post-high school. It's a 2-year course, and you get to do everything from sculpting to textiles to filmmaking, you name it, you got to do everything. So I took that course, and through the film course, portion of that course, I found out about a school in Toronto called Sheridan College that has a sort of worldwide renowned animation course, and this was of course for 2D animation back then. So I kind of switched gears and decided, you know what, if I didn't try this, I'd regret it forever. So I applied and I got in, and sort of the rest, as they say, is history. I got hired from Sheridan College in my second year to go work at Sullivan Blue Studios in Ireland. So it's probably not a great advertisement for school because I didn't actually graduate. I started working before I finished, but I got hired as an animator with Don Bluth, and I worked in Ireland for about 3.5 years. Not necessarily the golden age of filmmaking, and the projects I worked on perhaps weren't the most renowned projects ever, but it was a great learning experience. I worked with a ton of really talented people, and I really got a good leg in the industry. From there, I ended up going to Disney TV in Australia. I guess after living in Ireland, I wanted some sun. But I also wanted the experience of sort of a high-speed production environment because my first experience in features was, you know, sort of very slow. And it was also, in the feature environment as a new artist, it's often hard to get cast the kind of scenes where you feel like you can really shine. So when I went to TV animation, I had the opportunity to not only learn to be very efficient and kind of make clear statements in my work, but also they tend to storyboard things in television that are, you know, a lot of close-up acting shots because it's the cheapest thing to do, pencil mileage-wise. So I got to do a lot of great close-up acting shots. They tended to give me all the villains. I don't know what that says about me, but they were a lot of fun to animate. And I learned a tremendous amount when I was there. After that, I went back to work with Don Bluth, but just this time at Fox Animation in Arizona. And because of my experience in Australia with TV animation, I kind of moved up the ranks really quickly when I went back into features. I was made a lead animator within the first 4 months of going back to work on Anastasia. So it was all a really good experience. After my time at Sullivan Bluth and we finished up Titan AE, the 2D industry had more or less collapsed, at least in Hollywood, and I know it still survives here in Europe, which is good. But so I was kind of at a crossroads. We had children at this point, and we didn't really want to travel too much, so we decided to move to LA, and I got a job at Sony and trained up on the computer. And again, I think because of my classical training and my knowledge of film, I was able to move up the ranks pretty quickly there. And after Stuart Little 2, the show I was hired on, I got a job as a supervisor on Disney's Haunted Mansion, working with Rob Minkoff. And that's kind of been my career path ever since I've been at Sony. Again, because of my film background and knowledge of classical film techniques, I think I can speak to directors very comfortably and help them understand how these animated characters are going to fit into their live action world. So that's kind of been my role ever since I've been at Sony. I've been there 12 years now. It's kind of my story.